the difference between astral projection and an out-of-body experience is drastic. And there's even levels to out-of-body experiences as well. So in astral projection, typically, you don't have a physical vessel. Your consciousness is just out traveling. So every time I was astral projecting, I was in other places. I can see things and go places, but I was never able to leave realm one.
A little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. It's always a pleasure to do these things and have these types of conversations, for sure. But yeah, I'm Andre, aka the Alchemist, and I leave my body. I'm an out-of-body traveler. I've been successfully leaving my body for probably a year and a half now, and I do it using, Darius J. Wright's ATA method. And I recently just escaped the Matrix. Left. I was formerly a project engineer, an aerospace project engineer, but I recently just relocated to Egypt. So, yeah.
That is fantastic. So hang on a minute. Run that back. Here was I thinking you're on holiday. Is this a relocation for you?
Yeah. So I came here with no plans, no expectations. I just kind of knew I'd be divinely guided. And so I'm here just shaking hands, meeting people, and, just doing the great work in Egypt. So
that is fantastic.
So you...
go.
You are not a project engineer like you say you're working for I think what was it, like NASA? You were saying you're working for?
No, so I wasn't working for NASA. NASA was one of my customers.
Right.
I just worked for an aerospace manufacturer company where we design precision instruments for space, and I was a project manager, program manager for multiple space programs at NASA.
Right.
Was, one of our customers. Yeah.
So you're no longer doing this?
No, I no longer am doing that. Now I am a full-time out-of-body traveler, spreading, the great work, the great message, just trying to help enlighten and wake up round one, as we call it, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a new question to ask you then.
Oh no, that you just kicked the ants nest now, because I'm just like, hang on, whoa, wait. Would you like to start?
So you know what? I mean, regular questions. So, what led you to actually have these experiences, or BE as we call it? So,
who were you before this?
Who were you before this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so before I started having out of bodies, I was just somebody that loved consciousness, loved to see how far I could take my mind, because I was always a smart individual. So I always wanted to see how far could I take this. Like the movie Lucy was one of my favorite movies, because it explained how, if we could maximize our brain usage, we could do all of these things. So those things always fascinated me. It was just an interest of mine. So, and I was also getting into like meditation and spirituality and things like that. And along that journey with exploring consciousness, I began astral projecting, using the gateway tapes. I began astral projecting and just really trying to push the limits to how far I can take things. And I was able to astral project in literally a couple minutes, things like that. But it wasn't the truth. I knew it didn't do it for me. I knew there was something more. It didn't answer the questions that I had. And then, my mom passed away. She passed away April of 2023. And when she passed away, I was getting messages from her telling me like, she's okay, first of all. So that sent a warming sensation to me. So like I knew she was okay wherever she was on the other side. And she was also sending me messages like, Andre, you need to figure this out. Like you can figure this out while you're here on Earth. Like you don't have to die to figure out what happens, because we used to always have conversations about, the other side, about aliens. Do we believe other beings are here? Everything. So she was sending me those messages. And around this same time, I was astral projecting, quite frequently. And at the same time, I would wake up in sleep paralysis like every night. I would wake up in sleep paralysis every night, like 4 or 5 times a week for like months, it was months. It was a long time. And it would scare me. I would wake up freaking out, all of that. And I didn't correlate the other side to sleep paralysis. I just knew like that's what I was trying to do. And then so I found Darius on YouTube one day, and he was talking about how sleep paralysis is the gateway to the other side. And then it just clicked for me, right? So I signed up for his course. I took all of his knowledge, and then I began applying it. So that's pretty much how I got to this journey, yeah.
So what type of kid were you? Because those conversations with your mom sound like conversations we have with our children now, and also conversations that can only be had with a child that's pretty open or tapped in on some level. So what type of kid were you?
I was always the type of kid that I always questioned the world around me. I was always very smart. Like school came very easy to me. It was never like I was learning something. It was just like I was remembering things. Like somebody would say something to me and then I would just understand. It was like that. And I would always question the world around me. Like I really remember being young, like 4 or 5, and, questioning like my family. I was like, yo, how can I trust that you guys are grown-ups? Like if I didn't see it for myself, right? So it was things like that I was always questioning my reality. That's just one example. But I was always the type of kid that's like, no, I want to see it. Like, I want to know the truth. And I would always think about, like, why do we have to work for money? Like, who came up with that idea? And why are we doing this? Who agreed to this? Like, those things just didn't sit right with me.
We would have
why are we doing this?
We would have had some long conversations at some,
Absolutely.
when your parents take you to christenings or random family affairs, you meet this child and you're like, you would be my friend if we really knew each other. Because same page. That was both of us in a lot of respects. I mean,
yeah, man.
Since we first met, I met him when I was 19, maybe a year in. We said, nah, we're not working anymore. Not like this.
Yeah.
And we haven't since. That's like 20 odd years later. So
we became artists, and you know what that is.
We became artists.
Yeah, doing things that you love. Yeah,
that was it.
Right, exactly.
But don't give your energy into the same system that's trying to suppress us.
Yeah.
Once you make that leap, then your energy, your life force then begins to work for you rather than against you, and you don't feel drained. You feel energized.
Yeah.
All of those things. There's so many aspects to it for sure. But good for you guys. I'm truly happy that you were able to make that switch.
Oh, it's a switch that we will be discussing this, but it's a switch that once made, you could be adamant about it when you're all alone, but when you're faced with people who aren't ready to make that switch, that's when you really have to dig deep into your integrity of what your cause is, of what your core beliefs are, and what your core knowing is.
Kind of wish, I knew what I knew now, because, when you're trying to go for, heart-based, passions and stuff like that, it's very challenging. It's still till today. I mean, till this day, people don't always understand these things.
Yeah, that's the challenging bit about it.
Yeah.
So when you with families,
the bit where we haven't woken up for an alarm in 20 years is brilliant. The bit where we just say, I'd really like to make that. Yeah, let's go make it, and just make it. That bit, no regrets, not one.
But you know, that's something wonderful, because you experienced astral traveling or projections and OBE, and we like to ask our guests as well, what's the difference between the two? Because
now you did both.
yeah, you
and
did
you
both,
know of both.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you can give us like a bit more insight.
Yeah, for sure. So the difference between astral projection and an out-of-body experience is drastic. And there's even levels to out-of-body experiences as well. So in astral projection, typically you don't have a physical vessel. Your consciousness is just out traveling. So every time I was astral projecting, I was in other places. I can see things and go places, but I was never able to leave realm one. Earth. I was never really able to leave Earth. I was just traveling here, my neighborhood, entering dimensional spaces, seeing some scary stuff, coming back in, just things like that. But out of body experience, it is real. All right. So it is such a drastic change. Astral projection, when you leave, is kind of just like a lucid thing. Like you kind of just float on out and it's good. But when you have an out of body experience, it is real because you are taking your soul out. It's not just your awareness. Your whole soul is out. The soul that connects to the pineal gland that gives this body life, your actual soul is out. So the thing that gives this body life is out. So you experience that feeling of like death or, that's really what you experience. So that is the first drastic change that you'll experience between when your consciousness leaves from astral projection to an out of body. When you have an out of body, you'll experience like the feeling of death. It literally feels like your soul is leaving. And then once you're out, it is physical. It is more physical than real life, right? When you touch something, it is so physical. You can feel the entire chemical makeup of that substance. When I'm having a conversation with somebody, I see them so vivid, so clear. Your mind is so free because you're not thinking and processing things from your human perspective. Now you're open. Now you're in soul. Now you're totally connected. So the information just flows. Colors are more vivid. They're more bright, almost as if you ever watch a near-death experience and they're like, oh, the colors, I don't know how to explain them. And this feeling of unconditional love, all of those things exist in the out of body because you are officially out of your body. You are on the other side, 100%.
Right.
Okay, wonderfully explained.
Then can you go through portals while you're having an astral projection or when you astral travel? Because we hear a lot, like during OBs, people are able, or souls, should I say, are able to go through portals like mirrors and stuff like that. Can you do that while you astral project?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have never been able to go through a portal when I was astral projecting. It was more, I was just traversing the world that we see now.
Right.
I was just traversing this world here. And I would also enter some dimensional spaces that like I knew weren't, and now I know they're dimensional spaces, but at the time I didn't know where I was. But now looking back, I'm able to say, okay, that was dimensional spaces. That was people's thought forms that I was seeing. But at the time, I didn't know. So, no, you're not able to go through any portals when you're astral projecting. At least I never was. That's another stark difference as well.
Yeah. The reason we're asking is we have our own experience of out of body. We have our own experience of astral projection, all of that. But I know that so many people ask me what the difference is. And then when I hear about some of their experiences, I'm like, yo, you were full out of body. And I don't know I don't know what you thought you were doing, but that's all you. Like,
yeah.
A
lot
in
of
and out of
people,
portals, interactions with beings, sex, all of this stuff. And I'm like, yo, you might want to pump brakes just a little bit. That's way beyond dream state. I'm not telling you what to do. I won't tell you how to do it. I'm just saying it's not fake. It's the realist.
It's not fake. It's very real. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very real. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't realize, I guess, because you were saying there's different levels of OBEs as well. So could you explain a bit more about the levels?
Yeah,
What's that for you?
there's different levels of out of body experiences too. Sometimes when I'm out, I will, if I don't leave properly, if my body is not fully shut down, I am able to leave and I'll have a physical body. I can see my hands and stuff, but I'm not in full control. Like sometimes I'll be out and I can't really move my legs because like I'm half in my body, half out of my body, all of that. But essentially what it boils down to is it's how shut down is your body before you leave. Because if your body's not shut down at all, that's like astral projection. If your body begins to shut down, you can leave kind of, but you're still half in your body, half out. That's when you may see something, but it's not very clear. It's not very vivid. You may not have complete control. So like oftentimes when that happens, I'll say, okay, let me go back to my body, shut my body down more, relax a little bit more, go a little bit deeper, and then I'll exit again. And then I'll be fully in my soul. And then I can move and navigate and command things.
And I'm guessing the level of consciousness is going to be altered depending on how far you shut down your body. You're not going to have the same consciousness, level, should I say?
Yeah, that's true as well, man. So like if your body's not fully shut down, you're not going to have that full consciousness, that full awareness there. But as you can bring it there, like if you're out, even out of your body, you can do the same technique that you can do when you're lucid in a dream. You can look at your hands and bring more of yourself there. But even then, sometimes it may still be hard to get out and navigate. So that's why the most critical part is understanding that you need to have your body, completely shut down to leave. Yeah.
Okay.
That helps because all of the out of body experiences that I was having before I even heard about Darius or ever, I didn't know I was having OBEs. I just thought that my dreams were extremely vivid and I couldn't explain them to people because I was like, no, I was really there. And
yeah,
you could say that until you're
that's why I
blue in the
love
face.
these types of.
But
yeah.
it sounds like, yeah. You just took yourself seriously and you're being emotional as per usual. Plus, I'm very animated, so they're like, that's Shem being Shem, innit? But I know the difference. And I was like, no, I was there. And it's like explaining that to someone who maybe had a lucid dream or two, or maybe just dreams and like doesn't quite think much of it. It's very hard to explain. And I never experienced sleep paralysis like that. Maybe 2 times, and it never scared me. And most of the time I just end up where I have to be and I'm doing what I have to do. It's been like that for 20 odd years.
Amazing.
So,
amazing. Yeah.
When I heard about Darius, though, you can imagine, that was when everything clicked into place. Because up until then, I'm thinking, you might be a little bit special. Not in the special way as special, but special as in like, don't tell everyone they'll lock you up type of way. And then it was just like, this is something I'm experiencing and this is something personal to me, but I don't know exactly what it is. All I knew is I would do missions and then I'd come back. I think I'd be gone for
missions,
a year.
Yes.
A year.
Yeah,
so I'm asking
missions,
now tell me, and now obviously I know, so, and I'd like to thank you because between your testimony, you walk in your path of going to see Darius, do the method, put out your videos, has also brought so much clarity to my own journey. Because
Great.
I'm able to look back now and be like, oh, I've been going on missions. I've been living my past lives. Plus I've been journaling about them. I have years and years of me putting back timelines the way I'm supposed to, me ushering in souls into helping them incarnate here for this time, or helping them see their life reviews or things that I thought were just
all of that. Yeah. Yeah.
But
you didn't really know what was going on, but
I just said,
now
well,
they're real. Yeah.
there was a screen and his life was up there and he showed me, and I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, it felt real. Like it wasn't a dream. I was there. I was touching him. I touched his face, like the whole thing. Like, but once you guys like stepping into your path allowed me to have clarity on my own. Like even this podcast wouldn't even really exist the way it does without you, Darius, Corey, everyone else who's done a testimony. And I say this without even have done the ADA method personally. So just give us some insight on, because I know that the experiences are so dense, past life experiences, and I know past life experiences, you know, alternate timelines, missions. How have you experienced that in your own?
Yeah. So many, there's many ways for things to be presented to you. There's many ways for things to happen and to be presented to you. For example, past lives. I've seen past lives of mine where I was actually in the other life, right? I was actually in the body re-experiencing that life, like replaying scenes from it and things like that. I was in the body, seeing it from my perspective, then I would see it from the other person's perspective. I could be outside of it, seeing it from a third person perspective, seeing it from all of those perspectives. And then there's other times where it just comes back as a memory. Like when you go somewhere, you just, oh, I remember being here. I remember this life. I remember those things. Other times it can just be somebody can touch you and then that memory comes back into you. You can see it. I've been given a little tablet before where I see it and then I see lifetimes of mine on that tablet, or a specific, it's not like lifetimes. Like when I'm presenting a tablet, I see one specific experience that I had. There's many different ways that can be presented to you. You can even just read a book. I think that's unique to every person. And even then, it's even unique to every experience. Like, I think it's like how I wanted to capture it in my soul records. Like, I'm under the impression that I set these things up myself. So like Neo Soul, I set that up to be my soul records, to have it. So I re-experience that, right, in that way. Because I've had other experiences where it was just like really sacred and it was just like a book and writing and stuff like that. There's many different ways things can be presented to you, for sure.
Okay, that's wonderful to know, because I know it's something that is very personal. Also want to cover physical body now, because you can imagine I've been doing OBEs for years, not knowing what they are, coming back and being exhausted and like not knowing what is going on. I know I just slept 7 hours, but I promise you I could do another 7. That type of tiredness that's beyond explanation. How have you found that, integrating that into your daily life? Have you changed anything about the way that you move in this realm to accommodate for your OBEs? Yeah, for sure. So when I go through stages where when I'm leaving my body. Right now, I haven't left my body in maybe 3 weeks. As I'm readjusting, I'm doing the in-body thing right now. I'm readjusting and I moved to Egypt and things like that. But when I am leaving my body consistently, and I prepare myself to bring back that information, because what we're doing is we're downloading like hundreds of years of information in minutes. You know what I mean? So that takes a big toll on the body. So when I'm doing that, it does help to have a cleaner vessel. So like it's like a computer, right? A hard drive. If it's dirty and clogged up with stuff that's not needed, it's going to be hard to put more information in there. So you got to clean it out. And I do that by eating whole 1 ingredient foods, fasting, eating once a day, drinking a lot of water. And then when I am having these out of body experiences, I will drink the salt water as well.
because I come back feeling so electric, and that helps it. I don't do that every day, but after an experience, I will do it to recharge myself for a couple of days.
Okay.
And yeah, but I have conditioned my way in such a way when I come back from an out of body experience, I'm so electric. So that tired feeling doesn't come to me. It's more so just like I'm burnt out. I'm fried out because my body's so electric. So like I need to generate electricity to keep myself going. But mentally and physically, I'm charged because I just came back from the other side. So it's like my soul is now feeding my body. So all the human things that people need, food, sleep, all of that, my soul is then feeding my body. So I don't need those things. Like when I come back from an out-of-body experience, I may not eat for 2 or 3 days, and I may not even need to sleep. I can just tune in and write information down and things like that. But I mean, that's only when I have a large experience, when I leave realm 1, when I break through the electromagnetic field and I'm able to be open and connected to everything and truly receive a lot of information. That's how I come back. So my soul, it's really like my soul begins to fuel my body. But in preparation to that, I do clean out. I do try to purify my vessel ahead of time. For sure.
All right.
So
that helps.
So what are the conditions for you to leave round 1? Because you mentioned that that happened when you actually able to get to other round, like, not stay in round 1. So is there any sort of like condition you've noticed that I have to do this in order to be able to get to that place? Or you systematically, when you come out of your body, find yourself outside of round 1?
Yeah, so it was just a moment of when was I ready for it? Because for a long time, I wasn't ready for it. I just wanted to perfect the out-of-body state and leave my body and experience things, right? So for a while, I just wanted to leave my body, touch it, see it. Go around my house. Oh, can I go through this wall? I wonder if I can. How can I do that? Okay, what can I do? How can I fly? Okay, I can do that. What happens when I leave my neighborhood and I go here? Okay, I can do that. Can I see myself in the mirror? Okay, I can do that. Can I change how I look? Okay, I can do that. Can I fly through my roof? Okay, I figured out how to do that. And then it reached a point where I had the urge to go more. Like I had that down packed. So now I want to really experience something. So I set the intention to access my soul records. I came out, I seen a little version of me in this life playing out. I didn't want anything to do with that. So I touch my mirror because I know they're portals, and then I walk through, and then my intention and my frequency to 1, access my soul records, and for 2, to get out of Earth and see beyond there. That intention alone is what created that portal for me to walk through, to exit and to enter. That's when I went to Neo Soul and experienced different lifetimes of mine that way. That was my first time leaving realm 1.
Okay.
Or leaving the magnetic field, yeah.
Which brings me to a new thing, like that question, which is, where would you say in the construct, or is it outside of the construct, is Neo Soul for you? Were you able to place it?
Yeah, so I have not yet, because I'm the type of person that when I experience something, I'm like, okay, I know that's there. Let me see what else is there. So I never went back to it. But from what I've known from other out-of-body experiences now, I believe there's some type of form of what we would call an extraterrestrial, right? But they're a human version of extraterrestrial. They're the ones that look like us. And I say that because we obviously, we had kids, because I had kids here. And I know this universe is the only place we can have kids, and specifically realm 1 and realm 2 for sure are ones that we can have kids in. So it's either realm 1 and realm 2. And then from there, it goes, okay, it could be realm 2 on the other side, but I don't know for sure. Or it could be here beyond the ice wall, because it was, and I almost want to say it's here beyond the ice wall, where we would still consider them extraterrestrials because they're not from these 6 continents.
Yeah.
But they look just like us. Yeah.
This is, you know what? The timing of this conversation is to perfection. All right, cool.
Just,
go on, say that, because I'm about to there's a whole download coming.
So just to resume what you just said, so it's pretty much down to your will. Like if you want to, once you have an OB, if you desire to basically leave round 1, you just have to will it.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. It's a combination of things. It's just a state of being, right? It's just, you just feel it. You just feel into it, like with your heart space, you know, you just kind of feel into it and you set your intention. And it's the same principle for manifestation, right? When you see it in your mind, and then you also have to embody it and all those things, like you have to match that frequency. It's the same thing. So you kind of just feel into it and you just have that intention, and you, as well as that intention, you feel into it. And then you go. Yeah, it's not hard. So I've gone through my mirror. I've also utilizing setting my intention and also feeling it. And when I would open up my door, I would just be somewhere else. Sometimes I've done it and a portal would open up in front of me and I go through it and then I'd be where I desired to be. Other times it's like, okay, I'm out and I just do it, and then all of a sudden I'm just there instantly without doing anything. So there's many ways.
So the portals, when they appear in front of you, is that you creating them? Do you think you are creating this portal as you will to go somewhere? The portals appears, right?
Yeah, that's my intention. There's many different types of portals, but that's my impression, is that I'm the one creating them. But there's also many portals that are just there that I may not be creating. There's other portals that are just there. But the ones that I was talking about that appear, they're like a little white light, and it's just like you just get sucked in and you're just there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've had an experience where I was in autopilot, almost like, you know, I just knew. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And then I just went to a cupboard, pick up a mirror, put my hand through it, I went somewhere. So did you experience similar thing where even though you will some things, but there is like a greater decision that took place where maybe your soul has decided to do some things, and as you're out of your body, you just go and do these things, which coincide often to what you've asked. Maybe you wanted to see your soul records. So there you go. Once you're out of your body, all of a sudden you are doing things that you are aware of. You're in agreement with it. You're not against it, but it's almost as if you know what you're doing, though you never did it before.
Yeah. It's almost like you know where you're going and you're guided because that's your intention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
All
right. I'm doubling back here. This neo soul thing. All right.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. We want to know more about this.
I've experienced beyond the ice wall. I have people there and beings there, leprechauns, well, what people call leprechauns, and humanoid looking extraterrestrials, but for the most part they're humans who've been there for a couple generations as well. And also the galactic. So when it comes to humanoid galactic, that is pretty new to me. Let me think now, because I was reading it again this morning. As I said, I journal. Maybe about 9 months ago, I was first introduced to what they would say is my galactic family. And they were just telling me, like, African Americans, they're not going to believe this, but it's kind of who we are. This is kind of who we really are. And you'll come from we come from the same, bloodline thing. So it's like, don't stay. They were saying it in a way like, don't stay too attached to this idea of I'm human and you're not human. It's a humanoid form, but you're kind of a copy of a copy of a copy of us. And I was like, oh, okay, like genetically we're a little different. They're obviously attuned to their own frequencies, their own energies down there, their own landscapes, but they gave me their name. A lot of history about myself, a lot of history about this realm. So if ever you do go back there, get time to see them, they can give you a lot of information when it comes to frequency. I'm not a math person, but they were filling me in on a lot of math. Like now, all of a sudden, I'm really decent at math. I didn't ask for it, trust me. I didn't, but they gave it, and it's in line with what I need. But for the most part, they're here to kind of do the great work. So when I hear you talking about the great work, they're in line with that. They're like, it's time to wake up. You know, the history of the construct, which is what leads me to ask you next question.
Say that
history.
About, go ahead.
No, go on.
I was going to stop you and say it's funny how you mentioned, I wanted to touch on when you said that we're kind of a copy of a copy of a copy. So what I've known since I've been out of the construct and since the beginning, this template of the human template of like the 2 legs, 2 feet, and kind of looking like this, that is kind of like the original form. But the human bodies that we have now in realm 1 with all the distortions within it, that is what's the copy of the copy of the copy. But this look is not, but the physical makeup of us is what it is, because there's many distortions in this physical body now.
100%.
But it's you were spot on. But you were spot on with like African Americans. This
is the first thing they told me. They were like, it's a running joke. Sure. It's a running joke to them. They're like, they're gonna like have the hardest time because this whole and the other night, earlier this week, they were just letting me know, like Silathian, not African. Silathian, not African. And I was like, what? But when I looked at it,
a lot of people think Africa is the Omeka and that's where everything started, but it's a little bit different than that. That's why I try not to get too hung up on, Africa, that type of stuff. Yeah.
And that's me altogether.
It's
deeper
than that.
But then you got to be. I'm very sensitive to that, and the way my life was set up is I'm the lightest one in my family. So I was very aware that there's colorism and certain information coming from certain people's mouth is taken a certain way. And sometimes you're just too light-skinned to talk about certain things in front of certain people. So it's not that I back away from saying it.
That too, yeah.
But I know what attachments people have to these things, but they maybe four nights ago they just gave it to me straight. They were giving me the connection to dolphin frequencies and communications, where the origination from telepathy comes, as far as the learning and the use that we have here about it. A lot of things. That's why I was saying, if you can and you want to get into it, the mere fact that you probably went to Neo Soul and that's probably there, they're good for that information. Yeah, they'll tell you a few things.
Yeah.
So can you explain a bit more about Neo Soul, what it is, and what's going on there, really, and why did you go there? Like, what happened?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit more background. So this was, like I said, this was my first time leaving Realm 1. So this was my first time going somewhere and seeing anything or talking to anybody. So why I went to Neo Soul is because it was a similar lifestyle compared to what I was living at the time, and I needed an answer to something that I was going through. Particularly, I was about middle age like I am now. I was married. and it was like the same template of style that I'm living now. So with that, I had to see how those times played out so I could make a decision based on how I want my life to go this time. So that's why I went there. And Neo Soul, it was operating pretty much like here, but the buildings were bigger, they were newer, it was cleaner, it was beautiful, but we still had family, I still had kids, we even drove cars. But it was I was just seeing like my inner dynamics there, like of my closest relationships and things like that. And I met what people would consider your spirit guide, this guy, Francis, who has a template of like many of the friends that I have in this life. Like that's just the type of people that I gravitate towards and that I like. He had like that same type of template. So I met him and he just set me up for this little experience. I went in there, I seen what I had to see, and I was like, okay, cool. I came back and made the change in my physical life. So that's really it. And I do know, because when I first got there, I was talking to Francis, that's his name, and I was like, okay, so where am I? He was like, Neo Soul. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't ask anymore. I was just like, okay, I'm in Neo Soul. Like, I know where Neo Soul is, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And then my next question was like, what year is it? These are the only questions that I had. And he was like, it's 2015 here. So that signaled that we were on a different time scale than the continents that we're on. So I knew that. I was like, okay, we have a different time system. I'm in a city called Neo Soul. I was like, okay. Now I was like, okay, so what do I do here? Like, who am I here? And then he showed me. And then, so that's all the questions that I really had there. And then, because after that Neo Soul experience, I was like, oh, I can go anywhere. I was like, I'm going to the halls of Amenti. I'm going to all these other places, you know? Yeah.
So what, once you were there, where you, I guess because you were you, but your life that was playing out there, were you able to see? Were you first person, or were you like looking from the outside what was going on? Just to understand.
So originally when I was there, I was literally in the other body. So my consciousness, right. The same thought forms that Andre has, was in this other body. So like it was like I was just this other body. So I'm looking and I'm like, oh wow,
that's different. Fascinating.
And then I was moving freely at first, and then as I went into the experience and seeing, you know, my life and stuff, I was just re-experiencing you know, this other life. Like I was meeting my wife, I was in certain situations, I was re-experiencing them. And then I experienced 3 different lifetimes in this one experience. So for a while I was just there, you know, I was in first person a lot the first time. I was in the actual body, just experiencing different things. And then I went out of a door, everything went black. And I said, no, I'm going back. So I went back. And that time I was in a different body, in a different house with different kids and different wife, different everything. And I'm like, okay. And this time I knew what it was going on by that time. Like I was hip. I was like, okay, I'm in a different life now. Okay, cool. So let's see what's going on here. And then at that time, I was also starting to play with it, right? Because I had already been there for what felt like weeks. So I'm like, okay, I wonder what else I can do here. Like, how far can I take it? So then I was like, okay, I wonder if I can see it from this. I was like, this must be like some type of life review, like what they say, right? So I was like, okay, let me see if I can see from my wife's perspective. And then next thing you know, I'm in my wife's body, seeing how I was acting and then I could feel her emotions, and I could feel how she felt and how she was thinking, and how, like, it was insane. And then I'd be like, okay, then I'd be back, and then I'd be like floating above, just like viewing everything and seeing how we both interacted and stuff from like a God perspective, right? And then I'd go back into my body, and things like that. So I learned by like the second life, I kind of learned. And a lot of times, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody say this, because a lot of times people feel like they're just shown and they're just going and things are happening. But I learned, no, you can control these things. You know, it's not like you just have to go along for the ride. You can control them. Yeah.
I've changed. I've changed happenings. I've been to places where it's like, all right, your whole entire mission is to make sure that you're pregnant. You have to tell your mother, like, there's a time where we don't, and this time we do. So make it happen. I was like, okay.
I think
I'm telling my mum, and it was that. And a lot of times missions to kind of reweave timelines, happenings.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
This
when you say missions, it's weird because I was just out of my body maybe about a month and a half ago, and I was on a mission. I went back in time to like the 60s or 70s in Realm 1, and it was like it was during like the racism time. I was a place in America where I was in a house and I was trying to change something, figure out what happened because somebody, I don't want to say too much, but how I was trying to change something.
I understand.
For sure.
I understand. I've been on missions with him. Sometimes he'll come in missions with me, and his energy signature is the same. Like the soul signature is the same.
So you guys leave your body together?
Well, this is the thing. I'll leave my body, and then I will. If I call him, somehow he's there. Or if he calls me, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, you're here."
Yeah, or sometimes
he won't remember the whole thing.
Sometimes what happens is that if there's during dream state, if there's some sort of interference that happened before, where end up in her dimensional space and tell her some things about what's going on, and vice versa. So these things happen a lot.
Yeah, especially if someone's like trying to like deceive me or something, he'll be like, no, I'm calling Cap with that one. Like, you need to wrap this situation up. And I'll be like, oh really? Okay.
Vice versa. But you know what?
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, basically.
I've got a very specific question to ask you because I think it's fascinating. Like what you're saying from the knowledge I have and or other people have, you can kind of like almost piece things together. And you when you talk about Neo Soul, I've heard before there is places like Earth here where they're like training places. So it's not the density is not as much as here. So they are doing similar thing that we do, but it's like almost like a training ground before certain souls come to this place. Here, and it reminds me a little bit like all these timelines where you have similar things happening and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's that, but I wanted to know what you think about this, and if you yourself have experiences of places similar than Earth. Is it the same place?
Yeah.
Have you heard people talking about this?
I have experienced places similar to Earth, and because where we are right now is like the hardest. Like this place is so drastically different from the other side. It is like no other place ever. There are things like that. I didn't get this feeling because the way when I was communicating with Francis beforehand, not many words were said. I just had an understanding. I was like, okay, I'm somewhere in this construct still. Like I knew that, and I really want to say it was beyond the ice wall. Like that was, I just kind of knew that as I was doing it. It wasn't directly said to me. That's why I never publicly said that's where it is for sure. But that's what came to me as we were communicating. But I do know what you're talking about as well. So like this particular construct does have 12 realms. And in these realms, there are dimensional spaces that can feel like a whole new world, right? So that's kind of like it. That's where those places would be. There's like dimensional spaces within the realms that are like realms within realms. And you can have a whole world there too. It's insane. Yeah. So
now I'm going to talk to you about the construct. Okay. So I firstly want to just openly say that I think I've been really good this episode. I haven't.
What do you mean?
I haven't wilded out or interrupted half as much as I wanted to. Okay, just putting that out there. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's because I really need this information, because I know that I could talk to you for about 3 hours. God knows I've only got about another 40 odd minutes. So for now, this is what we'll do. All right. So the construct. Now, I've watched videos where you've kind of broken it down, and I love your analogy about this being the game of life, like it's like a video game. Are there any other realms that you have experienced in outer body? I know that I have. I just wanted to see where you'd gone, because I know you're pretty much versed about OBEs.
Yeah, so a lot of times I have been to realm 3, where you come to the pyramids, and like where I am right now, the pyramids are right behind me. And as you come here, it looks different automatically a lot of times. So there's like bigger steps. There's steps that go down. When you come here, sometimes you can walk down the steps. Other times it's like I'm just already in there. So I've been in realm 3. Where things, it's like more serious than here, but it's bigger. It's like it's more knowledge there. It's like, it feels heavier almost. Like they say realm 1's more dense, but like realm 3 almost feels heavier. Like it's like it's a different feeling for sure. It's a different type of frequency, and it's like a knowledge based frequency, but like you feel free. You feel freer too. I've been there. I've been to the heavenly realms. My mom took me there. And then I went back one day to figure out and experience that. I've been there a couple times, probably like 3, maybe I'd say. I've gone with the Seraphims to their realm 8. That's like a very stern wisdom, very serious realm. You're not going to go there and play around or fool around. If you're there, it's for a reason, and they're telling you something, and you're on a mission. They're going to tell you a mission to do when you come back here. It's in very knowledge based, for sure. That's a very serious place.
Yeah.
And then from there, I've been to a couple other places that I haven't really figured out where it was. I'm under the impression one other place I've been to was realm 4, just by the way it looked. It was lush. It was, green and very watery, but it also could have been realm 3. So, because realm 3 kind of looked like that too. So I don't really know. Yeah.
I've been what I think is realm 4. Thank God for you guys' maps. I tell you right now, because I've been all over the place, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's it," or I've seen pictures. Other people say, I went there."
Yeah, it's very extensive.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times. Realm 4, we were with the kids. My kids do the same thing as us, I guess. We all move as a family. Funny enough, we always wanted 4 kids, but we kind of was like, then started life, and you're like, I've got to be realistic, and then the grind starts grinding you down. Even though you choose to opt out of certain systems, you realize how much you've signed up for as well. So as much as people say, oh my gosh, you followed your passion and stuff like that, there's layers to this. So you still very much peeling back the onion of this realm, and a lot of the systems will be put on you even if you don't think they are. Like now we homeschool, that's another one. It's a whole thing. So
yeah, for sure.
So you might be out of one and then get into another, but the Seraphim one is very interesting. I've been there. They're no joke. They're of very few words in my experience. And like, again, the mission thing adds up. I was sent to a mission. I knew what was expected of me. I was told, and he opened up a portal. It was he energy. That's why I'm saying it.
It is he, and it is
It's
masculine
he energy.
Yeah,
Cloaked,
it is.
cloaked, long. I'd like to give it I'd like to say leather, but the truth is, it's some next material that shines and
some next level shit.
and is also very black at the same time. I can't explain it, but yeah, and just like, even just like a nod of the head, like, and you're like, okay, I'm going.
Okay,
And
I know.
I know.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
and I've been to what I
those are the
think
beings
is the God
that
realm.
when I said that those are the beings that I said when they touch me sometimes, and I'll just know.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like when they come get you,
that's happened there.
you gotta be ready, because they're not joking.
So for the sake of the listener, would you would you mind to explain this construct briefly, like between realm 1, first of all, how many realm there is, and just like to draw a visual plan, as you explain it, so we can visualize what it is, because I know a lot of people still get lost into all these experiences you can have, and that I think that will be really helpful.
So what I have seen of this construct now, and I didn't even know about the construct or anything until I learned from Darius, right? But as I learned, I said, okay, so we're in a construct. So I was like, okay, let me get out of here and remember who I am outside of everything, because I realized that in the construct that we're in, everything is a template, everything is a game. So I got sick of entering these other realms and another game and another template looking for truth, right? So I went outside to the beginning, to outside of everything, and remembered and got all of that and that God energy. And then I said, okay, now I can go in and figure out this construct, right? And so I did that. And outside of this construct, it looks like a snow globe. That's why some people who have near-death experiences or something, it is round, it is a ball, but it's not a globe. It is a ball with a firmament above it. And as you look in it, there is like a platform beneath it. Like this one is like big on the other side. It's like a big one. It's like the main one, right? And on the other side, when you look into it, it looks like a snow globe. So imagine yourself looking into it from the outside, and inside there you see land, and it looks crazy. It's like you see all of these things, but what you're looking at is the different realms. And so as you like change your frequency, you can kind of look into the other realms and things like that. And as you just focus, you can make it out. So they're the different realms. That's why I always say, all right, humans always try to draw shit, from a human perspective, but that's not at all what it is. These 12 realms all inhibit the same space. It can be many different ways on the other side. So there's 12 realms within this construct, and they all inhibit the same space. I know this because when I'm looking into the construct, they're all in the same space all together, and you kind of have to tune your frequency, your focus, to view which one you want to see. So it's like that. And then when you come in here, I don't really have exact clarity on this, because when you come into the construct, it's almost like you can just go in. But when you come into this realm, it's like another entry point into realm 1 Earth, where we are. It's like another layer, like another entry point to come into here. And when you come into this one, it's like that's a whole thing to get here.
I understand why babies cry at birth. That's all I'm saying. Like, I get it. Intuitively, I'm like, I know. I get it.
Well, you're born in water, to be fair.
It's like you were just as God. It's like you were just as God, and next thing you know, you're a baby crying in the hospital. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Do you could you explain the separation between all these realms? Is it a firmament for each of these realms? Is that the what? Because
No.
I've heard that it was water separating each of this realm, or do you have any insight in that?
It's different too. So I don't have exact clarity yet. These are some of the things that I'm currently working on figuring out. But it's like on the other side, in your soul form, everything inhibits the same space and they're not really separated to it. But I do know, I do have memories and stuff of when I was like in realm 3 to get to the other realms, they are separated by domes. And like when you get to this wall in your physical, to get to the to another realm, you do go through the firmament and then boom, you're in the other realm. But what I think is happening is it's like say this is the wall. When you get here, it puts you right back here but you're just in another realm. So I don't think you're crossing over, or I don't think you're leaving to another realm that's higher or higher. I think as you go, you change your frequency and then you're right back into the same physical place. I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good explanation.
So that can be misunderstood as, oh, they're all separated by a firmament, you know. But when you look a little deeper and you really try to understand what's going on, I think that could be what's going. I don't have exact clarity on that yet, but once I figure that out, I'll be saying that. Yeah.
So these things are really not about exactitude. I think a lot of the time, there's going to be 3 or 4 things, maybe 5 things that people just hear come out of your mouth. That is going to set them on their path. That's going to activate something in them.
Yeah.
I think that we're not in the game of clarity anymore. I think we're just in the game of
there's
frequency
nothing's
match
black and white. Everything's kind of gray. Yeah.
And we just kind of, you know, a new spin on 50 Shades of Grey, but without all of the kind of melodramatics of whatever's going on. But, you know, add realms into it, put little pixies in there, leprechauns and some galactic stuff. And then, some fairies and I don't know, the rest of it. So, it's wild here. Like, looking at it like that, I could see why we came. I could see, like, it's interesting, you know?
Yeah. And when I think about why we...
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Because you were going to say something related.
I was going to say, and when I think about why we came here, it's really clear to me, because when you're a god and you have all these infinite abilities and things like that, it definitely adds to you so much to experience yourself with limitations, right? Because when you leave your body, you're infinite again and everything's great, everything's easy. But then you come to Earth for this to experience, you know, it's the I don't think people can understand the contrast to where we are to what we are naturally. It is such a big contrast. And one of the greatest feelings is once you leave your human body and you go back home and you remember, like that feeling is like one of the greatest experiences that one can have. For me, anyways, it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've had 4 kids. So, yeah, it still is up there with that. It's like, I know people say these things, but it's like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. And I love them, but it's just not the same. It's a whole personal thing. It's like, it's brilliant. It's really brilliant. Like, it's taken away a lot of fears from me, as far as fear of death, fear of true limitation, fear of, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And then, no, I'm all right.
Yeah. Fear of the unknown is
fear of the unknown, meeting things that you haven't seen before. I don't have fear to meet other beings. I don't fear if the aliens are coming. I don't have, you know, like they're already here. It's a wild ride. What has coming out of your body as far as changing your perspective on fears, dropping the fears in your life, dropping beliefs that don't serve you in your life, what has that brought you?
Leaving my body has brought me everything regarding fear and limitations on myself, right? So fear, like you said, fear of death is a big one. because you have that experience as you leave your body. It feels like you're dying. And then when you touch yourself, so that changed me to being able to live free, right? Because no matter what happens here, you're always okay. That was a big one. The fear of the unknown is also a big one that I overcame, because when you're leaving your body, a lot of times it's scary because you don't know where you're going. But I've learned to just have faith and go anyways, because it's always okay. No matter what experience you have, it's okay. And if you don't like it, come back to your body, you know? So that changed everything for me. But a big one that changed me is the limitations. That's a big concept that I overcame, is the limitations that we put on ourselves, because everything is consciousness. This entire universe construct that we're in is just a manifested thought of another soul. Everything here is just a manifested thought. It's just consciousness, right? So when you realize that this whole universe is just consciousness manifested, and you have your own consciousness, don't put any limitations on yourself, because you can control and bend this universe just the way anybody else can. And you can apply that in your physical. So when you come back from, never place any limitation on your mind or on your being. And everything that we talk about, every conversation that we have, the words, the concepts here, it's all putting limitations on us. So like when you're even thinking about time and you say, oh, 3 days, when you put that 3 days on time, that then puts it in your mind as, oh, it changes the way you think of it. When you don't put words to things, it's much more free, right?
Which is
that's
why
what I'm trying to say.
I guess on the other side, everything is telepathic. Well, that's my experience. Most things are ineffable, so they don't explain it to you with words. It's like a knowing and a transfer of knowing. That is
we
super true.
Because obviously you mentioning limitation, and you explain really the structure of the construct as you perceived it, as being more of a dome, and not really like the planetary system as we've been told doesn't really exist, I guess, the way we've been told. So that is a limitation in itself if we believe that we're on a globe, and most of the people are in this mindset thinking these things. So it'll be nice anyway eventually to be able to explore that aspect, even have a conversation in the future about these things. And I know a lot of people may not be ready to hear the full truth, but it's part, I guess, of the limitation.
And I say that firmly and in complete confidence. And I'm an aerospace project engineer, right? Like my job was to get people to space. We were working on the Artemis missions to go to the moon, to Mars, like all of those things, right? And it was just fake. It's just, and once you see even more too, that's all a control structure. It got to the point where I'd be at work and I'd see people wasting their time and energy to feed the system. And when I say feed the system, feed the control structure, feeding to this fake lie that we're in a globe, because what that does to people, it changes their whole mindset. When you don't know where you are or who you are, you don't know anything. That's the number one way to control somebody, is to make them not know where you are or who you are, you know? So Absolutely. When you think you're in a spinning ball in the sun, you feel so small, because once you realize that you are in an enclosed system, you're like, okay, this is a creation. It has to be, because we're in an enclosed system. Then you're like, Absolutely. Okay, who put me here and what exists outside of here? That's questions they don't want people asking, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So,
Go on. I was going to go for these ones. Right
okay,
now.
go ahead. Yeah, go.
Okay, because I don't know how much time we got left. I'm going to get in with these ones. And then if you cut out, know that we love you and we're very, very thankful we had this conversation, and we will be having another conversation.
For sure. I love you guys too,
it's an
by the way.
invite and a
great people.
Yeah, it's definitely another invite, because I wanted to get into beings a lot more, but here we are.
Hold on 1 second. Move your feet. Okay, sorry about that.
I saw it, but I was like, there's 4 children in this house. Somebody's foot's going to be on this screen at one point
have to
of
be
the day.
ourselves. I mean, we're all literally talking about
we're not trying to
not
be-
limiting ourselves. That's so good.
This is all part of the non-limitation thing.
Okay.
We're good. So, question for you. Who are we and why are we here, in your opinion?
Okay. So that's a great question. So who are we? We are consciousness itself. We are source in essence. When you go back to the beginning, we were all connected. We were all one, right? We all were one. And then we broke off to individual consciousness. So you can picture it as like one ball, one ocean, right? And then we became aware, oh, we're all one ocean, but we can also all be individual droplets of the same ocean. So it's like we're all that, and we're all that is, all that ever was, all that ever will be is us. Okay? So when people talk about, and then when people talk about, I'm a God, you're a God, we're all God, in that aspect, we are, because we're all infinite in our own right. We're all infinite and divine, and we all have, we all come from the same thing. So anybody that made this universe or anything of that nature, we are that and more, because we all have infinite potential, right? So that is really who we are. We are everything that ever was, everything that ever will be, and everything that is us.
That's beautiful.
And where we are,
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
Yeah.
We are here simply because we chose to be here, right? That's one way to put it. We chose to be here. Now, why would you choose to be here? Because to experience, to truly understand what it's like to be a God, you have to understand what it's like to not be a God. To understand what it's like to be infinite and almighty, you have to understand what it's like to not be a God. Because before this, that was the standard. Right? If we're just all a God, that's the standard. So it's not really great to us. It's the normal, right? But then when you come here to experience not being that, now you're like, oh shit, now I really realize how great I am. It's the same concept as above, so below, as within, so without. It's the same concept as to truly understand and appreciate the sun, you have to experience a rainy day. To truly understand and experience joy, you first have to experience pain, right?
Yeah.
It's all of those same concepts. So that's why we're here. And this thing is very temporary. You know, a lot of people, they get stuck, and they feel stuck, and they feel in pain, and they get too focused on the little things, but they don't understand really how temporary this entire experience is. This entire experience is truly temporary. It's like a blink of an eye.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And talking about blinks of eyes, when you go and start having enough OBEs, it does shift something within you. And it also shifts something within who you are or who you understand yourself to be. How has that changed your relationships with the closest people in your life? I say that being somebody who's like, yeah, we're married, but we've been together for like ages. Like... for ages. And then we were together without kids, and now we're together with kids. And, you know, you go through ebbs and flows. But as far as ebbs and flows goes, out-of-body experience one's pretty big ebb. Like, how does it change the way you treat your loved ones, how you treat yourself, how you parent, how you...
Yeah.
All of that.
So... it changed everything for me, right? Because now I understand that we're really, truly all ancient, right? We're all ancient. So that's one perspective, right? That like, oh, wow, I see we're all ancients. And I say that because like when I see my kid, I don't see him as, I see him as another soul just like me, right? That is here. So let me teach him how to be the best soul he can be so he can fulfill his mission while he's here, right? So that's how that changed that. But how it changed how I see everybody in the world is different, because I see us as we're just all these big souls here crammed in these little bodies playing the hardest game ever. So like when somebody's having a hard time, it's like, it's okay. I understand. You're not used to this. You're used to being able to do what you want when you want to. And now you're here having limitations. Now you have to eat, you have to think, you have to go to work and all of these things. So I have complete compassion for everybody and love for everything. And then you can take it even a step further because we all come back from the same source, right? So we're all the same thing. We're all the same stuff. So when I see somebody, I see an extension of myself, just having a different experience. And it even goes different from just being here on Earth. They had a different experience from source. They might have been in other constructs, other universes. All of that molded who they are. And then the life that they had as a human even molded them even more. So that's why we're all the same, but yet we're all different, and we all have all these different perspectives. So I see everybody completely different, and I see them as an extension of myself. And I love hearing other people's perspectives and points of views, and because I see it like, wow, what did your experience like? What did your experience since creation? Like, what did that do for your perspective? What did it do for mine? And I just have an extreme amount of love within me, and I see the good in even the bad. There's no judgment in me or on my heart. And I try to embody that as much as I can, but with staying true to myself, right? Like, just knowing all of this, it doesn't mean you have to go out of your way and be super kind or anything, but you just understand and you just do everything with compassion and from the goodness of your heart with no bad intentions, not to hurt anybody. That's most important for sure.
Yeah, do no harm. And even though the conversation's not going to end, I do want people to know where they can reach you. So yeah, you have your YouTube, just run it off that people are going to want to reach out. Where can they find you?
Yeah, sure. So I got everything in one central location now, the alchemist369.com. That's a website that I have. All my links are there, my Instagram, Telegram, YouTube. You can book a one-on-one session with me where if you have if you're having a hard time adjusting in this spiritual journey, this construct that we're in, or if you're trying to achieve the out-of-body state, you've been practicing and you're having some trouble, I can tell people things that have helped me as well. Just trying to build a real community here, because these things are tough. Like you were saying, it's hard for us to communicate with other people that are not on this level, but it's also tough for people that are experiencing these things to live and to function and to understand that it's okay and that these things that they're experiencing are real, and it's more real than anything here. So I'm really trying to build a community to help people know that they're not alone in this. You're never alone, for sure. So
yeah, that's wonderful.
That is
I
great,
feel
man.
like we're part of a bigger grid, and that's literally what we're doing this for. You are not alone. That's what it is. I've had, even as of late, some people just saying, yeah, I've been having this experience for the past 60 something years. I never knew what it was. And those are the people.
yeah.
I
run into so many people like that. Yeah, and especially, since, Darius came on the scene, there's so many people. This got big, right? This came in a massive way, and people are really learning and tuning into this. So there's many people now on this journey that, hey, you're not alone, and it's all a team. It's all a team effort. We're all in this together. That's why conversations like these are so great. Talking to a couple who leave their body together, that's verification right there that it's real. Yeah. And then to talk to me, that's verification that it's real. To talk to somebody like Corey, that's verification that it's real, So we're all experiencing these things, and it definitely helps solidify the message for sure.
Yeah, it is definitely real.
I just know that this is really like a point that they're just my my guides are just going like this on a piece of paper to me, which lets me know that this is like a pivotal point. So I'm really, really glad that I'm on path, on track, and I'm lining up. They're like, yeah, good. Things are lining up. They're giving me number 10. So great. Yeah, that means it's all good. So one more thing, and I'll edit it afterwards, but how has it been for you to change your life here physically now? To say, all right, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to trust that I am the ultimate authority in my life and I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to trust the flow. I'm going to walk the path. How's that been for you?
Yeah, so that has been honestly the greatest change. You know, and I've had enough experiences and enough signs where like I know how to read them now, you know, and I know the path that I'm on. And I'm not talking signs like just seeing 111. I'm talking literally things lining up in my life and seeing them as this is the path to walk. So when I made that decision to stop work and to go all in, there was never a doubt in my mind that this was not the path, this was not the way as well. And as soon as I made that decision, things started opening up to me. As soon as I made that decision, right before I made that decision, you know, they came to me and they were like, okay, this is what you're doing. You know, you make that deal and, you know, this is it. So that happened just before I made the decision. And so when I made the decision, there was no doubt in my mind because I'm no longer operating on a human thinking. I'm no longer operating from my human brain, my human perception of fear and survival mode. I now operate in a divine way, I guess you can say, you know, knowing you're divinely guided and things like that. And as I moved, everything opens up. When you make this move, everything opens up. Now it's just a matter of navigating and figuring out which direction do I want to go? Do I want to take this? You know, because either way I take it, it's going to be great and it's going to get the message out there. But there is a right, there is a good way to do it, a better way to do it, and the best way to do it. So now I'm just trying to figure out which way to take it. But as far as having fear or any of that, none of that is within me because I know I'm divinely guided. And as long as I continue to leave my body and spread the message, that alone, you know, you have an army behind you when you do that. I mean, yeah, you can't just quit and just say, this is what I'm going to do. No, you have to have a certain, you know, you kind of already have to be doing it and, you know, things like that and do it out of integrity and not, so yeah, it was time. It was time for sure.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think it's wonderful for you. Every time I hear stories like this, I'm truly like, I know that the world is shifting. We used to be alone in that story. I'd tell people, oh no, I quit uni. Oh no, I don't have a job right now. They'd be looking at me like, I'm an extraterrestrial. So now, I mean, when COVID happens,
and when you make these decisions, you can't tell anybody. Like you can't talk to anybody. But I was even divinely guided to the point that my family even embraced it. I thought they were going to be like, "Yo, you're fucking nuts. You just quit your $120,000 a year job to leave your body and make videos." I was like, yeah, but they even embraced it, right? Because they understood this isn't that. This is a spiritual journey. And when I speak, they know it's the truth, right? Because I was always somebody that was very factual, that was very science-based, where I needed proof. So for me to believe something, they know, oh, this must be real.
It's lined up.
Yeah.
But I also think that they signed up for this. Their souls were like, yeah, and when this date comes, we're going to be all in. When he's deciding, we're going to be all in. We're going to stand by him.
So So what made you go to Egypt? Why Egypt?
When?
Yeah, I mean,
I came to Egypt because I have a lot of soul imprints here. You know, some experiences from here, and I don't have to go very far to make it to the halls of a mentee. And because I've been coming here, quite frequently out of my body anyways, I said, why not make this the place, right? And because there's a lot of history here to show people, to prove them like, hey, the things that we're saying are true. There is an underground network here. Everything is buried. This was once a lush land. I got proof. Like I've seen seashells in the middle of the desert. So obviously this was once, a lush land. There's underground tunnels that connect this village from Cairo, where I am, to the next village over. Saqqara is completely buried. They're still digging things up. Every time you're in the desert here and it looks high and there's a mountain, it's because they buried it, right? They buried the temples and stuff. So there's so much here to dig up and still uncover. So I'm here to help guide that, facilitate that in a way, right? So I'm here shaking hands, meeting people, meeting business owners, important people, Egyptologists, things like that, to try to guide people that to show them where these are, where to dig, where to look, and also document things as well. So that's why Egypt. This is like a hot spot for everything. There's so many ancient things here buried, and I'm just gonna tell everybody where they are.
That's phenomenal.
So, wow, it's amazing. I mean, you're all in. You're all in, like literally.
Just for my own verification, like I said, about a week and a half ago, I was there in the tunnel. Hand on me and my daughter, hand on the stones, downloading glyphs. And there's there are some connections between the information that's locked into
were you
the
talking
stones.
about out of your body or in your body?
Out of my body.
Oh, yeah, out of your body. Yeah, for sure. All you got to do is touch something and yeah, for sure.
But then it's like the glyphs there, there's like a code inside the lines as well, and the downloading's like really great. But these are places that
as I was here in my physical body, I tried to do the same thing, and it wasn't working like that.
The GPU was like, nah.
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if I could still do it. Yeah, no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I think that eventually we'll be able to do it in our physical bodies. But
that's definitely the path that we're heading down to. And as I leave my body more and raise my frequency more, like I said, I haven't left my body since I've been here yet, because I've been, shaking hands, trying to be present here and build what I have here without leaving my body. But as soon as I leave my body and I'm in Egypt, when I come back and my soul's frequencies fueling my body and I'm walking like a god and all that type of stuff, and I go to these ancient sites and I'm touching things and I'm divinely connected, I'm going to try to unlock that, because I try to push everything to the limits. So I'm going to try to see if, leaving my body, and as I come back and bring more of my soul's frequency here and stuff, what can that unlock here in the physical, things like that.
That leads me to another question. Have you unlocked any abilities here?
Yeah, for sure. So like what's used to be pitch black to me is no longer pitch black. Like I can see in the dark, sometimes not right away, but it's like a reddish color to me. It's no longer like black. Like so that happened. So I guess you can say more of the light spectrum opened up, as well as I can see when somebody, not all the time, but specifically when I come back from an out of body. Like it's faded now since I haven't left in like 3 weeks. But when I do first come back, when somebody says something to me, I can see how it's going to play out. Like I am the other side, like I know how it's going to play out. So when somebody says something to me, I can say, okay, if you do that, this is going to happen. So I guess you can say like I'm very tuned in and tapped in that aspect. I can analyze people's bodies and see like what's going on inside of them. Touch, my touch is electric, everything. Yeah, a lot of things have opened back up. Yeah.
That's cool.
That is, amazing.
That's cool. I got a couple of things, but your things are so different.
Normal
I'm just
to me
like,
now.
No.
Normal to me now, but like
I love hearing these things. Like my stuff's to do with plants, but that's a whole nother conversation. Which I said like is is gonna happen. We're gonna have to come to an end now because I know our reel's like running out. So it is what it is.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this has been a really wonderfully ordained conversation. Like, I am really grateful for you to take your time. You're in an amazing place, and to share that energy with us, to share that energy with the viewers and all the souls who have so many questions that you've really eloquently answered. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. I truly appreciate it. It was truly a great conversation. You guys are two beautiful souls yourselves. And, I feel like maybe we might know each other from another time or something. And I truly appreciate you guys having me on. It was a great conversation. And for sure, we definitely will need to do this again sometime. I feel like this conversation could have went for a lot longer, for sure.
Absolutely.
This is only a matter of pentacles. This is a subscription thing. You know, when they say they've got 5 hours left of recording, this is all we're dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot more questions.
This is nothing more than a subscription situation limitation. This is not. This is nothing else to do with it. Would have had you on here for a clean 3 hours if we could have, and chopped that up. So we'll probably have you on sooner rather than later. And until then, we will stay tuned in to your journey and what you're sharing. And honestly, just thank you and love to you and your journey, your family. And thank you for the message that you've been putting out there and all that you've shared.
Yeah, thank you.
Really.
Thank you guys. Truly thank you. It was truly a blessing to be here, and let's do the great work together. We're all a team here, so let's continue. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, everyone. Well, that has been the Alchemist 369. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.